We got to elect a pro tem president, and I'm willing to do that, but I would like for others to nominate and second it.
I'll nominate Director Scobie to be President Pro Tem.
Second.
Can we get a roll call?
Director Scobie.
Aye.
Director Wilson.
Aye.
Director Hayes.
Aye.
Director Augustin is excused. Director Eccles.
Aye.
Director Edwards.
Aye.
And President Bradley is excused.
All right. I'll be pro tem. I may need help on the proper order of things, but I guess we have a hearing today.
Yes.
And so I'll start with reading that. Hearing number 8229 is being conducted pursuant to section 26.100.030 of the revised city code of the city of St. Louis. The purpose of the hearing is to determine whether the conditional use permit issued to McLaren Markets STL Incorporated, care of Mohammed Abahi, to occupy 1823 McLaren as a convenience store with deli subject to certain conditions should be revoked. The conditional use permit number 116364, the condition in question is as follows. Condition number 4, all signage must be applied for and approved by the Office of the Zoning Administrator. The Office of the Zoning Administrator has the burden to provide to the conditional use permit. Conditions have not been complied with. After all evidence of the zoning administrator has been presented, the board will ask for additional testimony, if any, in support of the revocation. Then the conditional use holder will be given an opportunity to present evidence. Lastly, the board will hear other testimony in opposition of the revocation, if any. Testimony is being recorded. When you come forward, please state your name and address and be sworn in. As you testify, please direct your comments to the board, not to those in the audience. Members of the audience are asked to remain silent and not coach witnesses. During your testimony, members of the board may have questions for you. Following the hearing, the board will proceed with regular agenda. Following the conclusion of the regular agenda, the board will deliberate, discuss, and vote on the hearing. The board will notify the conditional use holder of its decision by mail in about 2 weeks. The Board of Public Service has in its possession the following documents which are being introduced into evidence. 1, a certified copy of the zoning code of the City of St. Louis. 2, the conditional use permit number 116364, transferred to McLaren Markets STL Incorporated, care of Mohammed Abahi, on February 28, 2017, to occupy 1823 McLaren as a convenience store with deli subject to certain conditions. 3, letter dated March 8, 2019, sent to McLaren Markets STL Incorporated, care of Mohammed Abahi, warning of the violations of conditions 4 and 5 that were found upon a site inspection and the potential for a revocation hearing should the violations not be corrected within 30 days of the date of the letter. 4, the memorandum dated April 9th, 2019, from the zoning inspector to the zoning administrator, stating that upon that date, the zoning inspector found violations of the condition number 4 of the conditional use permit. This memo includes photographs documenting the violation. Number 5, certified letters dated May 22, 2019, sent to McLaren Market STL Incorporated, care of Mohammed Abahi, and Thomas S. Hill, property owner, from the board secretary providing notice of this hearing. Is there a representative of the zoning administration here to testify?
Mr. Chair, before we go any further, just as a point of clarification, we have here a June 17, 2019 letter from Alderwoman Pamela Boyd, which alleges two additional allegations with respect to this property. One being the sale of contaminated meats and the other being dirty trash. It appears that the matter before us is limited to violations 4 and 5. And so with respect to this matter, the health department has not gotten involved on this. Is this an issue that should be before this hearing at this time so that we don't end up having to do a second hearing if in fact these health allegations are properly before this board? And I'd like to get a legal clarification if possible.
That'd be great.
With respect to this
Yeah,
matter.
this is the first notice that we've had of these, and they certainly should be reviewed. I believe in the last letter that was sent from the Secretary's office, there was a different violation. May I ask the Secretary to read the violation that was sent in the last notice letter?
The violation that I have is for a letter dated May 22nd, 2019, and it's all signage must be applied for and approved by the Office of the Zoning Administrator. That was the only condition.
That was the condition they've been notified for today.
Yes.
In light of that, I am going to make a motion that this matter be continued in order to give the health department an opportunity to go out and to examine the additional allegations. I don't know whether we have the right to add those allegations or those conditions. I guess is what I'm trying to get some clarification.
Yeah, the zoning administrator is here, and I might ask her. I believe the outside of the building being dirty with trash would be a new violation. I am not sure about contaminated meat allegation, if that would be a condition that's associated with the property or associated with the food code.
Food code.
Yeah. Okay. Which would have a different remedy.
So if we're going to add that, do we vote to continue it now, or do we want to go ahead with testimony and presentation of the evidence we have before us and then do it at the after our normal meeting?
I think that we can probably proceed on the one allegation, but I think that what we probably want to do is just make sure that we have a good record and just do it unless it will be some prejudice to the permit holder. Is the permit holder even here?
No, I don't. Doesn't look like it, and that would be another issue that we would
so
need to.
I think that we can possibly give a new notice. Just go ahead and continue it. Give a new notice with the appropriate violations based upon what our expert tells us.
Good afternoon. My name is Myra Turner. I'm zoning inspector for the city of St. Louis. Upon inspection today, they're still in violation of all the signage. If you look at the pictures, they have signs all over the building, all on the side of the building.
Excuse me for a minute. I think the only question that I was asking, what additional allegations can be filed at this time? And so,
I'm sorry.
My recommendation is not to proceed with any evidence.
Okay.
Because we don't have, first of all, we don't have the permit holder here, and secondly, I want to have an opportunity to investigate these issues that were brought
Okay.
by the Alderwoman, because if we proceed at this point, we will not be able to
Okay.
proceed
I'm sorry.
on the concerns that she has.
The conditions that are levied on this particular conditional use is the hours of operation are limited to 8 a.m. to 9 p.m. Sunday through Saturday per applicant's testimony. No liquor, alcohol, or non-intoxicating beer should be on the premises at any time. No cooking, selling, or seating on the exterior of the building. All signage must be applied for and approved by the Office of the Zoning Administrator, and a valid contract with the commercial waste company shall be in place for disposal of trash generated by the business. Those are the 5 conditions that are on this conditional use.
So, Mr. Chair, it appears that there could be an allegation of the trash that was, that we can address. It doesn't appear that we can address the contaminated meats, at this board here. I will make a motion that we
Okay.
send out a notice with respect to dirty trash, adding it as a violation in addition to 4. Give appropriate notice for the permit holder to be here, and that will give us an opportunity to evaluate whether the conditional use should be withdrawn based upon dirty trash as well as signage.
Yes, sir.
Is that acceptable?
Yes. Is there a second on that?
Second.
All right.
Second.
Could I have a roll call vote on it to continue this with the additional information?
Director Scobie.
Aye.
Director Wilson. Aye. Director Hayes.
Aye.
Director Augustin is excused. Director Eccles.
Aye.
Director Edwards.
Aye.
And President Bradley is excused.
Okay. Hearing 8229 has been continued until we investigate and provide additional information. Can we proceed with the regular meeting?
Plans and from the President, plans and specifications for letting number 8691, asphalt overlay for Banshee Road, Navitt Road to Missouri Bottom Road at St. Louis Lambert International Airport. Preliminary approval for letting number 8690, juvenile detention door and security control upgrade, 920 North Vanderventer, St. Louis, Missouri. Contract and bond for letting number 8692, 2019 Capital Main Replacement Program, 6-inch main in Kossuth Avenue and 6-inch main in Palm Street, St. Louis, Missouri. Addendum number 1 for letting number 8688, electrical upgrades to maintenance building A and B at St. Louis Lambert International Airport. A change of the bid opening date to July 2nd, 2019 is requested. Addendum number 1 to letting number 8697, replace 4160V feeders to transformers 8 and 10 in Terminal 1 garage at St. Louis Lambert International Airport. On May 7, 2019, the Board of Public Service received and publicly read bids for public work as advertised under letting number 8693 SLMPD, Property Custody Tactical Relocation, Project number R2017-02094, St. Louis, Missouri. The project has a construction estimate of $2,543,249.68. 2 bids were received at that time, both in excess of construction estimate. It is recommended that the Board of Public Service reject the bids. The project will be rebidded at a later date. Supplemental Agreement number 1 to PSA number 1214, replacement of miscellaneous HVAC equipment for Terminal 1, Climate Control Package 2 at St. Louis Lambert International Airport. Missouri Highway and Transportation Commission, congestion mitigation an air quality agreement between City of St. Louis and Missouri Highway and Transportation Commission for Jefferson Avenue and 22nd Street traffic flow improvements, project number CMAC 5417604. Missouri Highway and Transportation Commission congestion mitigation and air quality agreement between City of St. Louis, Missouri and Missouri Highway and Transportation Commission for Jefferson Avenue, 22nd Street interchange improvements, project number STP 5417605. Maintenance agreement between Metropolitan St. Louis Sewer District, MSD, 2350 Market Street, St. Louis, Missouri, 63105, and the City of St. Louis for acting through the Board of Public Service for in consideration of approval of sewer plans and of the issuance of a sewer permit by MSD for stormwater management facilities according to the plans to be approved by MSD for the development known as Forest Park Play Area, the Natural Playscape Project, 18 MSD 00666 in Forest Park, City Block 2022.00, Township 45 North, Range 5E, St. Louis, Missouri. Emergency work orders issued for the month of April 2019 by the Department of the President, Facilities Management Division, Board of Public Service, and emergency work and repairs requiring prompt attention be approved. From the President and Director of Streets. West End Clinic to amend application previously approved, updating the main exterior stairway design and encroaching with the ADA ramp at 5736 through 38 West Florissant be approved subject to certain conditions. Amend permit from the Director of Public Utility. Amend permit terms and conditions including definitions. Amendment permit terms and conditions including definitions granting LOT and technology deployment permit applicants use of an approved city structure or infrastructure as necessary to utilize, replace, or upgrade structures or infrastructure in the right-of-way, including wireless installations. The approved LOT and technology deployment permit terms and conditions on April 23, 2019 should be rescinded and replaced with this amended T and C. Recommendation that the board declares as emergency action professional engineering services and development of plans and specs to replace the ventilation systems for chlorine buildings at Chain of Rocks and Howard Bend water treatment plants. Recommends approval. From the Director of Public Utilities and Streets, joint recommendation that the following permits for AT&T be approved subject to certain conditions as follows. AT&T contractor to store that pole in front of 904 Tyler and bore 58 feet east, then 283 feet south. Place a handhole in front of 1915 North 9th, then 110 feet east to 1908 North 9th Street. This is to provide service to 1908 North 9th Street. Lane closure will be needed. AT&T contractor to access pole at South 2707 McCausland and bore 25 feet east to McCausland, then 1,221 feet south to Canterbury, then 590 feet west to rear of 7212 Arsenal. This is to provide service to 7212 Arsenal. Lane closure will be needed. Starting at an existing AT&T handhole in the alley in the rear of 5760 West Florissant, and fiber cable will be bored to the south approximately 146 feet, 2 feet west of the east right-of-way line of the alley, then onto property at 5736 West Florissant. Start at an existing manhole located on McLaurin in front of 1319 McLaurin. From this manhole, board east down McLaurin and cross Annetta 4 feet from the edge of the curb and rise up a pole in front of 1265 McLaurin. From there, remaining cable will be on private property until going into the building at 1265 McLaren. Placing new buried cable to 805 South Vanderventer from a new rising cane. The buried cable will be placed across Vanderventer within right-of-way. Starting at the front of 800 South Vanderventer, AT&T to bore a buried copper cable across Vanderventer, then for 60 feet down Gratiot to the side of 805 South Vanderventer. Joint recommendation that the following permits charter communications be approved subject to certain conditions as follows. Starting at pole in alley behind 4365 Potomac, bore 75 feet to Alfred, place ped, bore north 175 feet to corner of Alfred and Fairview Avenue, and place ped, then bore east 150 feet and place ped. All work will be done on private property. Starting in the rear of 8200 South Broadway at the last pole before East Davis. From there, turn and bore north on Water Street, 200 feet, stopping at 8100 Water, bore up alley, 75 feet, and enter building. Starting at the existing charter telephone pole, 2200 Dr. Martin Luther King Drive, North 23rd Street. Charter will bore north 324 feet up North 23rd Street, crossing under Dr. Martin Luther King Drive, placing a vault. After that charter will bore east 423 feet, placing another vault, and continuing east, boring another 426 feet, placing final vault before entering private property. Joint recommendation that permit for Sprint. This application is for a temporary cow deployment for Fair St. Louis 20 June 2019 through 8 July 2019. The lease area is 40 feet by 40 feet located at 121 through 357 South Lenore K. Sullivan Boulevard, St. Louis, Missouri 63102, as shown in the attached exhibits. The cow has its own generator, and we are using microwave backhaul, so no digging or boring is required. From the Director of Public Utilities and Safety, joint recommendation that the following permits be denied by order of Board Order Number 720. Hill DK LLC to subdivide property at 5006 through 30 Daggett in City Block 4084, 4085, 4092, and 4093. And St. Louis Renaissance Development Group to subdivide land at 2800 Crittenden in City Block 1977. From the Director of Streets, joint recommendation that the following permit be approved. Prime 55 Restaurant and Lounge to encroach with Sidewalk Cafe, 8 tables and 32 chairs utilizing 200 square feet with liquor at 6100 Delmar. BLT Breakfast, Lunch, and Tacos to encroach with Sidewalk Cafe, 8 tables and 16 through 30 chairs utilizing 165 square feet with liquor at 626 North 6th Street. Recommendation that permit for Rosalita Cantina to encroach with banner over street between buildings at 1234 and 1235 Washington from April 6 until May 6, 2019 for Cinco de Mayo celebration be filed by reason of the fact that the application was not referred to the Department of Streets prior to the event date, so a permit is no longer needed. From the Director of Public Safety, recommendation that the following festival zones be approved subject to certain conditions as follows. Grove Pride for June 29, 2019 at the Grove neighborhood on Manchester between Surrey and Shodo. Miss Tilly's July 13, 2019 at Garrison between Sheridan and Thomas, and Sheridan between Garrison and Webster. GMP Street Party, Grace and Peace Fellowship, July 27, 2019 at Clara and Delmore, cul-de-sac for Vacation Bible School, street party with entertainment and food. Greater Pentecostal COG Community Day, August 10th, 2019, at Gregory Carter Park and Lillian between Riverview and Robin. St. Louis African American Artifacts Festival and Bazaar, August 17th, 2019, at 14 between St. Louis, on 14th between St. Louis and Warren, Montgomery between 13th and Blair, Warren between 13th and Blair. Art in the Park, Francis Park, along Main Walk, and around Lily Pine and Tam between Nottingham and Eichelberger, September 29, 2019. Now we have the conditional uses.
Good afternoon, Mr. President and members of the board. My name is Sandra Long, zoning specialist for the city, and I'll be representing the building commissioner at today's meeting. Per board order number 766, transmitted herewith are recommendations for the following conditional use agenda applications. Approval with conditions is recommended for 4 applications: 5017 Hampton, 6149 Louisiana, 3514 Wyoming, 3636 Page. Denial is recommended for 2 applications: 8318 Halls Ferry, 4126 West Florissant. I request that these recommendations be approved as submitted.
Any questions concerning the conditional uses permits from the board?
Motion to approve the conditional uses.
Is there a second?
Second.
Could I have a roll call?
Director Scobie,
Aye.
Director Wilson,
Aye.
Director Hayes,
Aye.
Director Augustin is excused, Director Eccles,
Aye.
Director Edwards, and President Bradley is excused.
They're approved. I'd like to turn everybody's attention to the minutes from last meeting. Are there any corrections or changes? Could I have a motion to approve?
Motion to approve.
Second?
Second.
It sounded like you did say.
Could I have a roll call?
Director Scobie,
Abstain?
Director Wilson,
Aye.
Director Hayes,
Aye.
Director Augustin is excused, Director Eccles,
Aye.
Director Edwards, and President Bradley is excused,
Are there any changes or, wait, where are we?
Agenda.
Agenda, yes. Are any changes or corrections for today's agenda?
I move to approve the agenda.
Is there a second? All right. Could I have a roll call?
Director Scobie,
Aye.
Director Wilson,
Aye.
Director Hayes,
Aye.
Director Augustin is excused, Director Eccles,
Aye.
Director Edwards, and President Bradley is excused.
Could I get a motion for adjournment?
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Meeting's adjourned.